back to Price Lanes, the 1985 Youth Top 10 Tournament, and this is the final match in the junior boys section with Jeff Zebley. Oh, that's the wrong section now. I'll get these names right. John Ratliff and Jeff Clark. And this is John Thompson Jr. and Casey Gallucio bringing you all the action. Jeff Clark started the match on lane number 3, and he left a 6-pin, 9-pin count for Jeff.
Jeff Clark is 13 years old. He's been in bowling for 6 years. He now has an average of 168.
We'll sign him up. He's pretty good on our legs. Okay, start the match with a spare for Jeff.
Jeff bowls at first state. Now John Ratliff, he bowls at Bolrama and Silverside. He has an average of 181. He's 14 years old and been in bowling for 4 years.
Okay, a little wide with that shot. With the 1, 2, 4, 7, 6 count. It's a tough way to start a match.
John, look at these series here. John Ratliff, high series, 737. And Jeff with a 708.
He's pretty good bowling in anybody's league. So are those high games, 258 for Jeff Clark and 266 for John. They're good numbers in anybody's league. Let's roll on that ball and good cover for John. Each boy starts the match off with a spare. This year's top 10, Jeff Clark was a qualifying leader with 11-10-29 for his 6-game total, and John Ratliff qualified third. And worked his way up in the stepladder finals to meet Jeff for the championship. John seems to be having a little trouble with the approaches. Looks like he might be sticking a little bit right at the release point. Okay, he picked up 2 pins on that split. Gives John 26 through the 2nd frame. Jeff ran the ball right up on the nose. Left the 4-7-6. It's one of those splits where you just go for the 2 pins count. The odds of making that are extremely high. Jeff's using a 14-pound hammer fingertip. Picks the 2 pins up. After 2 frames, we're dead even. Both boys with 26. A little high on that hit. Bad break for Jeff. 4-7-9 split. Try at it. He gave it a first-class effort. Picks up the 2 pins, gives him 35 through the 3rd frame.
Well, I guess Jeff has to sit down and shake that one off and come back the next 2.
Once the frame's over, it is done. It's the bowler's job is to forget that and come back the next frame and do the best you can. John still seems like he's having a little trouble at the foul line. A little wide wide with that ball, 7-pin count. Let's see if that administrations to his shoe helps him out a little bit. Shot could be a good first ball. Wall shot, first strike. He seemed to slide much better that time. Partly because I think he really got up there with his balance correct, his body weight was correct. He had good timing that last spare shot.
Jeff Clark qualified first for this match here, and John Ratliff qualified third.
Excellent shot. Excellent shot in the fourth frame for John. Gives him 46 through 3 frames with a strike up.
He's up by 11.
Good recovery. Good recovery by Jeff Clark. After 2 straight splits, he comes back with a powerful strike. That one, he ran that one out. There's your first double of the match. And we'll take a short break. We'll be right back and finish the bowling out. Okay, welcome back to Price Lanes for the rest of the top 10 tournament, junior boys section tournament. John Ratliff is up in the 6th frame with a strike working in the 5th. He's been wide constantly on lane 4 since the match has started. He's going to have to adjust his target on that lane. In the meantime, he has to keep making his spare so he can stay in the contest. Good spare shot. Okay, after 6 frames, John has 66 in the 5th with a spare up. High with that shot, left the 3-6-10. Right at the release point that time, John dropped his eyes off of his target. Needs to keep those eyes still, keep the head still on your target so you can get that good extension. All right, good cover. Good cover. Important to make the spares. A lot of times it'll keep you in a match, even when the other fellow is striking.
Jeff is working on a double now. Sorry about that, John. Will he get 3?
Well, that's an unusual leave.
And the 10 just fell, too. Makes it the 5-7 down there.
It's not often that you'll see something like that in any tournament or match play competition. It looked like he had a good ball, especially coming off the corner like he does there. And he had the 5-7-10 standing for a split second. Excellent shot. Excellent shot. He didn't let that bad break phase him one little bit. He stayed cool and calm and went up there and made the spare. That gives Jeff 83 through the 5th frame and a spare up, and John has 83 through the 5th frame and a spare up.
Wonder what the odds of that was.
A little high with that one. Got a break, left a 3-pin. Good spare. Good spare for Jeff in the 7th frame. And Jeff, I see here, is trying to make this a double header for him. He was the winner in the junior boys section last year in this top 10 event. It would be quite a coup for him if he could win it 2 years in a row. Brooklyn strike. John made an adjustment on that lane 4.
John takes a 1-pin lead now.
A little bit high that time, left the 6-pin. Nice spare. John looked a little worried on that shot. Started to go down on his knees, give it the old please, please. Gives him 123 through the 7th frame with a spare up. Jeff didn't let that bad break in that lane last time phase him. He went after it in the same angle. Good roll on the ball, good extension, and he carried out a very powerful looking strike.
Well, we got a 1-pin difference now, but Jeff is working on a strike and John's working on a spare.
He pulled that up a little bit. Okay, left the 3-6-10. Both boys have been high on this lane 3 several times. It could be that the lane is starting to hook more in the right lane, being exposed to these television lights. Okay, Jeff wasn't able to pick up that spare. He's dug himself a little hole here. He's going to have to come back in the 10th real strong. Gives Jeff 146 through the 9th frame. John has run up high on the head pin. 3-7-10, very difficult split to try to make. Too wide. He gets 1 count. Gives him 148 through the 9th frame. It's an exciting thing about match play competition. The averages don't really mean a lot. A lot of these matches go right down to the very last shot. We have a 2-pin lead here for John Ratliff going into the 10th frame.
Well, it came down to the wire, John.
Once again on that left-hand lane. Got a 9 count out of it. Needs to bring the spare in. Automatically throws the pressure on Jeff Clark.
John misses this. Jeff has to get a spare.
He has double pressure, Jeff, because he's trying to repeat as champion in this division. Good spare cover there. With a 9-pin count by John on his last shot, he can force Jeff to have to throw a double. He's going to be Brooklyn this time. An 8 count. That leaves us with a very good possibility of a tie. 166 for John Ratliff. That means Jeff has to come up with a minimum of 20 pins to stay alive.
He needs a double and 1 to win this match. If he strikes here, the pressure goes down. He needs a spare and a strike now.
Okay, he's left himself a tough shot. 6, 9, 10 spare in the right corner. And he's just missed a right-hand side spare frame before. So hopefully he'll put that out of his mind and go up there and execute the way he's been taught. Bring the spare in. A little fast with his feet. Oh, sent the ball wide. Just a little fast that time. That gives Jeff 155 and John Ratliff 166. Jeff was not able to pull off a 2-year-in-a-row win. Our winner in the junior section is John Ratliff, and we'll be back with more bowling.
Did I blow away your ears there?
Welcome to Price Lanes. This is a 1985 Top 10 event in the junior girls. Stephanie Merrick and Jill Houtchens are the competitors for the championship. Stephanie has started the match off on lane 3, and she's run a little high and left a 4-6 split.
Stephanie's average coming into this Top 10 match is a 167.
Up 1-pin count. Stephanie qualified first in this division, and Jill was a second qualifier. And I hope they're both friends because they seem to be attired exactly the same way today.
I think they called each other, John, on this one.
Okay.
For you fans out there, Jill is in the white socks and Stephanie there is in the purple socks.
It reminds me of the Friday night fights when you used to describe the colors of the corners.
Yep.
Okay, Jill ran a little high, left a 4-7. Good cross alley shot, and she starts the match with a spare. That's a good one to get. That's a good one to get.
She's laughing. She knows she didn't really get that the real way there.
Well, they say, how many did I knock down? That's all they want to know. How many did I knock down? Oh, good ball by Stephanie. Wouldn't trip that stubborn 4-pin.
Stephanie's been bowling for 5 years now. She's now 13 years old, and she bowls in 2 houses. One Price Lanes, I know. Do you know the other one?
No, I don't. Good spare by Stephanie. She's probably bowling in that junior scratch league.
And they both have Earl Anthony as their favorite bowler. Nice idol there.
That's a good idol. It happens to be mine, too, also. He is my favorite bowler.
Mine, too. How about that?
Everybody loves Earl. There she trips at 4 on that shot. Okay, through 33 frames for Stephanie. She has 29 in the second with a strike in the third.
Jill now has a 170 average, 3 pins above Stephanie. Been bowling for 10 years now, at the age of 15. She started when she was 5 years old.
And no, I do not remember how long ago I was 5 years old, so don't ask.
Okay.
9-pin count for Jill. Brings a spare in, good shot. Jill has 40 through the second with a spare in the third. Both these girls have obviously been well schooled in the basics of the game. Decent approaches, good timing.
Jill bowls in 2 houses also, Brookside and First State.
That was a bad pitch there. It was hard to tell whether she was just too fast or whether she moved her eyes off of the target. She really lost control of that shot. Of course, a 5-pin count on a spare doesn't help your scoring either. It's a tough shot. Excellent, excellent recovery. Gives Jill 55 in a third frame with a spare in a fourth. Stephanie pulled that shot a little bit. Leads to 5-9. Just concentrate on her target. Keep her timing under control and get that arm swing to extend through her target area.
Nice spare.
Good spare there. Stephanie has 49 in the third with a spare up. She's 6 pins behind right now.
Well, Jill goes to Newark High School and Stephanie is going to St. Elizabeth's. So that's kind of a rivalry between high schools.
Once again, Stephanie, a little bit of a pull on her shot. Run up high on the nose, left to 610. She's forcing the last part of her approach just a tad. Just to calm down, relax, for her target. All right, good shot, good shot. Girls want these spares real good. Okay, Jill's a little high. She leaves a 6, 9, 10. And brings a spare in. We'll take a short break right here and we'll be back with more action. Lanes, John Thompson Jr. and Casey Gallucio with the junior girls in the top 10 finals this year. Jill Houtchens and Stephanie Merrick. In the 6th frame, Jill has pulled the shot up high on the head pin and left a 4-7-6 split. In this situation, she should try to get the pin count. Just go for the 2 pins. She manages to get 1. It's her 97 through the 6th frame.
Well, John, how about these high scores? Stephanie Merritt, a 252, and Jill with a 266. They're nice high games there.
Pretty good, very good. There we go, lucky Brooklyn strike. We shouldn't call it lucky. Every strike just means you threw the ball good and had plenty of power. At least that's what my coaches used to tell me.
That's what my coaches tell me now. Here's some high series. Jill's high series is a 2, or yeah, 2. That's very low. About a 625. And Stephanie's is a 660.
They're nice 3-game sets there. Stephanie a little high with that shot, left the 3-6-10. She had a messenger pin coming across the alley, tried to knock the 10 down, and all it managed to do was make it off spot a little, which is going to make this shot harder. Well, that's just what happened. That pin being off spot cost her that spare that time.
Very close match.
115 for Stephanie through the 7th frame. Another high hit. Good 9-pin count. Jill needs to settle down a little bit, make sure she brings a spare in. Both girls have been rushing themselves a little bit, pulling the ball up high on the head pin and crossing over several shots in a row here. Good spare. Count for Jill. She really rushed that shot, really pulled the ball across her body. That was a good recovery, a good try. She gets 9 out on that frame. Jill 121 through the 8th frame. Strike for Stephanie.
Stephanie took advantage of Jill's open frame there.
You have to do that in match game competition. That's 2 straight Brooklyn shots on lane 4 for Stephanie. Let's see if she can back it up with a double right here. Pulled it again. Six-pin count. Gives Stephanie 135 through the 8th frame with a spare up.
14-pin difference.
Jill cannot afford any more mistakes. Ooh. She really didn't need that to happen. That's 4-6-10 split. At this stage, she almost has to try for a miracle and try to bounce one of those pins out of the gutter or something and make it. She manages to pick up 2. Gives Jill 130 in a 9th frame. Pin count. She's been high on the head pin or left of the head pin most of this game. Those 2 big splits really cost her. Nice spares. Jill can finish out with 150 if she can bang a 10 pinners here. And that would force Stephanie to get 5 pins. 6 count on the final ball for Jill gives her 146 for the match. Stephanie needs to stay behind the foul line. Knock 2 pins down. And and she will be the junior champion in the top 10 this year. And she comes up big in the 10th with a strike. She is going to be the 1985 junior top 10 champion. And she's defeated Jill Houtchens, and Jill was the winner in 1984. And Stephanie was second. So they reversed roles this year. And a 9-pin fill. Stephanie's going to finish at 75 if she brings a spare in. She is the 1985 top 10 champion in the junior girls, defeating Jill Houtchens, who had 146. And Stephanie finishes in good style, brings a spare in for 175. Congratulations to Stephanie, and we'll be back with more matches in a minute.